Mark Skaar on KIOW Morning Conversation. Proud to welcome in Steve Litterer from Charles City. How you doing?
I am doing completely awesome.
Man, it's been somewhere between 25 and 30 years since we've seen each other.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has.
You're looking good, Mark.
Thank you. You as well. Back in January, I gave you a call, and I told you that you were going into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you were a bit taken aback, and that was pretty cool. I was hoping that I'd surprise you.
You were the very first one to let me know what was going on because you said, hey, congratulations. And I said, who is this and for what? That's where it started.
Yeah, exactly. So what were your initial thoughts about going into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
You know what? It was pretty awesome. I do remember like way back that somebody had contacted us even way back when about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I think at that time, we were all, the band wasn't playing at the time and we were all raising our families and stuff, which we kind of did. And so we never really followed through with it, So right now it's just perfect timing, It's just perfect timing. And we are so excited. And all the fans along the way that we had are coming out of the woodwork from places we never even knew. So we're just having a ball with it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. Let's go all the way back. And you and your brothers kind of started all this off way back when. Where did the initial itch come from to have a passion for music?
Well, I'm going to give my mom some credit, okay? She could yodel, okay? And way back, she would go and play all these county fairs. Now, this was like way back when she was a kid. And she'd play the county fairs, and she would yodel, and she'd win contests. And she ended up going and singing on, I think you might correct me on this, but it's the Des Moines radio station, WHO?
Yes, sir.
Okay, WHO. Yep, so she sang on there. So she did a lot of neat things back when she was a kid. Of course, then got married, had us, had the kids. And so anyway, that, always had that kind of as an influence. And from there, I have always been in awe as I was learning to play guitar, just seeing people play and sing at the same time. I thought that was amazing. I remember that feeling of how do they do that, And we just kept it going and, played and worked on it, kept getting better. I think Dave was the drummer, and he was the first one to be in the band, so we were playing together. And Tom, when he was, I've got to say, 7th or 8th grade, the kid could sing like unbelievable. So, we would just sit and play and just have a ball. And that's how it started. We just kept getting better and better. And myself and Dave and Tom, we were playing quite steadily, and we ended up going sort of on a little tour, went up to Canada, and we were all over the place. It was just amazing. And a funny story behind that, too, is that we had the bright idea we were going to homeschool Tom. That didn't quite work out too well, so we did come back, and he did go back to school. So,
Now, how old were you when you went to Canada?
Well, I probably was, I'm going to say, probably 20.
Okay.
Yeah. And, of course, Dave, he was out of school, but Tom, I think he was probably in 11th grade, And but anyway, we just loved what we did, and we wanted to play, and we wanted to get better, and so that's what we did, And it was the most awesome experience, Learned just a lot of things, and being on the road, and it's just amazing the lessons you learn when you're out there.
Talking with Steve Litterer. Initially, the band was called the Litterer Brothers Band.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Correct. Going back to the Canada thing, I remember we told Carlene, take some lessons. We want a keyboard. And she did. In a matter of a summer's time, she had, her parts down, and she was working on things. So she had the excitement also. So what we did was we were still Litterer Brothers for just a little bit, even with her in the band. But yeah, she made us take the brothers off, so we were just a litter band.
Now, what year would you say you started? Was it officially, this is, we're going to do this?
Oh, jeez. I guess I would. You're really making me think here, Mark. I don't know. I'd have to say it was probably in the early 80s.
Okay.
1980s, yeah, because our album was released,
87.
Yeah, in 87. So along the way, we, of course, we kept getting better. We were playing a lot of the, really good clubs around the Midwest and starting to get a name for ourselves. We ended up getting on some pretty good shows. We were with Night Ranger when they came out, and Sister Christian hit #1 when we were playing with Night Ranger, by the way. So that was pretty neat. We were excited for them. Everybody's giving high fives. We were wishing it was us. But anyway, that was pretty cool. We did kind of a whole Midwest swing with those guys. And at that point, really appreciated the double guitar harmonies that they would play.
Mm-hmm.
And Brent was a very good friend at the time and very good guitarist, and he would help us out, with the stage and all that. And we approached Brent and said, hey, we'd like to have you join in with us.
This was about 84, 83?
Somewhere right in there, yeah. And so then he joined in, and we were able to do so many neat things, and musically. So that was pretty cool. And one thing I got to say about Brent Esslin, he is the coolest guy I probably know. He's awesome.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
We're talking with Steve Litterer. You went to Catamount and recorded Rock the City.
Correct.
1987?
Yep, that sounds right.
Yeah. Tell me about that experience.
That was really awesome, too. Being in the studio, Tom Tapman, was the engineer. Very good guy. And once you get into the studio, you just really get into it. You don't want to quit. We crawled out of that studio early in the morning. Sometimes we'd just be there all night long, And I don't know if he'd do that these days, but back then he was just having a ball with us. So the whole studio thing was a lot of fun. And I remember, we'd lay down some guitar tracks and we'd say, it'd be really nice to throw harmonies on the notes that we're playing. So, get a hotel room and we'd just sit there and just figure out stuff and go back in the studio later and lay down those tracks, the harmony tracks. So
a lot of woodshedding in the hotel then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it was such a neat experience, to put that album together. It's awesome.
And then shortly after that, a cassette-only release, an EP, She's So Dangerous.
Yes. Yep.
Which, by the way, look at this.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, you got it right here. A 45. That's awesome.
Double-sided, same track on both sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We must have gotten that from you somewhere along the
Probably.
line. Yeah.
No, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, so we were just writing and playing, and just trying to make the thing happen. So, yeah.
And, of course, you played a ton around the area. Places like Duncan Ballroom, the Surf Ballroom, probably Bancroft Ballroom, Fox Lake Ballroom. I saw you there once up in Sherburne. That's no longer there. The Golden Bubble Ballroom. Steve and I were talking for a brief time. I fronted a band from here called Frostbite. We did 4 shows with Litterer in 1988-89. So many other places. What are some memories from doing that? Do you remember it at all?
Well, as you were just saying that, you mentioned the Bancroft Ballroom, and we ended up playing the Mayo Civic Auditorium with Kansas. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But that same night, we ended up warming up for Kansas, jumped in the van, cruised to Bancroft, and played at Bancroft. We had somebody warming up for us as a warm-up band that night. And I remember, and the band was kind of mad at me because, we had the Bancroft Ballroom booked, we were advertising it, and then the Kansas thing came up. And the band's going, God, it would have been nice just to stick there with Kansas all night, But it just didn't work out that way, and I just did not want to let a show go, So we cruised. We were cruising down the road, and we got picked up. And, we got pulled over. We were driving way too fast. And I remember the officer, we told him what was going on. He goes, "Oh my God, okay. You know what? You guys got a clear shot. Go for it."
Wow. Lucky.
So that was pretty cool. So,
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't, because you had all the cool stuff. You had a semi, you had an RV. You were playing all the time.
yeah, we were. We I don't know. We just worked hard. We just worked hard at it. What we did.
And you had a cool stage show, and I mean, it was like the big time.
Yeah. Well, you were mentioning that we had this lighted sign behind us. Well, I mean, we put a lot of thought. We always like to say, how can we make this look cool cheaply? So we actually made that sign. We actually put these really bright lights in a box, basically, and drilled holes that said Litterer in it, and that's how we had our sign. And at night, when we're on stage, it looked really cool. You'd plug that thing in, and these lights would shoot out from all these little holes that we put in. So something as simple as that. The fog shows were neat. We just had some canisters, and we'd go down to Waterloo and pick up dry ice. And when we had a show, like if we were Bancroft, and we'd go there and we'd have these hot plates, and you'd drop the dry ice in, and you'd have fog everywhere. And it was just things like that, just stuff. We just had a lot of fun with it.
I just remembered another place we played with you guys was at the KIOW Ballroom.
Oh, sure.
Thanksgiving '88, and there was a snowstorm.
Oh, yeah. In Mankato.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mankato Ballroom is awesome. That is a place where we had Jason Flom from Atlantic Records fly out and caught our show. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so what happened there? That was something I didn't realize. I didn't know about.
Yes. Jason Flom from Atlantic Records, he was the A&R guy. And he said, it's between you and another band. We're going, really? Yeah. So anyway, he come out. We end up, this other band was White Lion. Yeah. And so anyway, he ended up taking White Lion, but he said, he goes, it's, you guys are both awesome. He goes, White Lion is from New York. They live right there. He goes, so I think we're going to work with them. We're going, gosh darn it. But it's okay. I mean, they ended, I didn't know this until recently, but they ended up, losing their deal and all that. So there's quite a story behind that. If anybody wants to Google that, the story about the White Lion, how they were playing and they kind of lost their deal and all that. So, maybe things work out for a reason,
Right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a ton of those kinds of stories.
There is.
Yeah, there really is. So who knows who?
Yeah. We went through it, and we got to play a lot of cool shows, met a lot of cool people, and we're still somewhat sane.
Right? So the band kind of went through the early and mid 90s. There were some personnel changes too toward the end, right?
Yeah, we just, I know like Carlene, she was really anxious to get her family started and all that. And, of course, it's on the back of all our heads. We're like, we don't know if we're going to be, we want to rock and roll forever, of course. But, maybe we need to start thinking about families and stuff like that. And that's kind of where that took place, threw in a few extra guys here and there, towards the end, but you can't beat the original band,
The classic lineup.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had a 15, 20-year run. That's pretty doggone good.
Yeah.
Something to be proud of.
Yeah. And we all love each other, and we're all, just everybody just has a great time. So
where's everybody at now?
Actually, everybody is just right around the area. I mean, everybody, myself and Dave and Tom and Carlene, we all live in Charles City, and Brent lives in Nora Springs.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And you've been rehearsing.
Yes, we have.
What can you? I don't want to hear like songs or anything, but what can you tell me about what's it like when you first got back into the room with them after so many years?
You know what? For me, it almost felt like we didn't miss a beat. I mean, it was kind of amazing for me. Because, we hadn't played for a long, long, long time. And, of course, we all rehearsed individually before we got together. So we kind of got a good feel for what we were doing. And but we got together, and it just felt just real natural. So it was pretty exciting, It was very exciting.
One thing I was going to mention, the Rock the City situation. Of course, those songs were so road tested before you went in and recorded them. I remember hearing the Ghost Town Park story, I don't know how many times.
I know.
Leading up to the song.
I know.
Oh, those are good memories, though.
They are. Yeah.
And it was a little bit different every night. You just never knew what you were making it up as you went.
Absolutely. Part of it might be true, though.
Oh, you never know.
I just can't tell you which parts.
So September 1st is the induction itself. What are you being told is going to happen when you get over there that weekend?
Well, as I understand it, it sort of starts out as a parade, and that's on a Saturday. And during the course of the day, there's some different things going on, and I just don't quite remember how their schedule's going. Sunday, though, in the afternoon is the actual induction where I think we go. I understand that they have plaques and stuff that they give us and all that with our name on it, so that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I know that on Sunday afternoon, I think it's right between 11:30 and 1:30, we do sound checks, so that's something I should know. Yeah, and then we actually do the induction, and I think that's in actually in Spirit Lake, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so which is real close.
Yeah.
So, and then we go back to the roof garden, and 6:30, I believe, is when the show starts.
Okay, I've got 6 here.
Is it 6? Okay.
Induction at 2, autograph party. So you're going to do autographs for an hour?
Sure.
And then induction concert, and there's all kinds of people going in. It's a really neat deal. I've never been, but I know Randy Chesterman. Some of our listeners will remember Randy. He was over on, the original classic rock radio station in Clear Lake, KZEV. And there's just all kinds of folks that go in every year. Did you ever hear who nominated you?
No, I did not.
Okay. Yeah, we were trying to figure out that information.
That would be kind of neat to know.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some questioning over there.
Yeah.
Find out.
Somebody over there surely knows.
Somebody should.
Yeah. Well, this is such a neat deal, and it's. I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Would there be any possibility of anything happening after this?
You know what? I have always said, people ask us if we're going to play some shows or something. I say, I never say never. You just never know. We'll see how this thing rolls. Fantastic.
Well, very well deserved. Congratulations. This is a big thrill for you guys, for everybody that followed you around, and it's just really cool.
I'm excited.
Steve, congratulations.
Thank you, Mark.
For Steve Litterer, I'm Mark Skaar on KIOW.